Okay, somebody told me to enter it, so I was waiting for nothing. Okay, so when you type it in here, run level, now you are in run level 2. Okay, so run level 3 we already know. So what will happen when I type init 5? It should come back into the Windows mode. Okay, so it is in Windows mode, so we barely use this mode, but you are welcome to work in it and then see if you could figure things out in there. All right, I'm going to just close this and then bring it up again. So as I mentioned here, when you're getting this, then you could just interrupt this. You got this, and then you could go in there and then select number 2, second option, and then push E. And then in here, you could actually put in the numbers. You could actually put in, right now we know it's set to 3, but if you want to go into 1, you could do that too. Okay? So here we're going to just put 3. And then B for boot. Okay, so now we're going to move along, and the command I once mentioned was run level, and you'll be using this a lot. You're in a dark window, so it could be any of the other two ones. Either you could be run level 2 or run level 1 most of the time. And then when you do who-r, it will give you run level also. It will actually give you run level, then what time date is all this. Okay, so let's get into some commands.
So could you please clarify what is the correct command to check the version of your Linux?
So you could do uname. So what this is doing is the version is we are using, we know 6.9 here, but this is a kernel version. Most of the time this is available for you. It says E16. This is what you've been looking for. The number would go up and down, E16, E17, whatever. And then after they hit at one point, they just change it to something else. When they have a major redesign of the operating system, they just change it to the latest one is 7. And they keep coming out with updates. They come with 7.1, 7.2, all the way there. I think right now we are running 7.6. We will work on 7.7 CentOS 7 later, but 6 is also being used a lot, so that's why I'm covering 6. So the only reason I asked this is as a trivial question is I haven't covered this as much, but I wanted to trigger that thought and see if people could find out the answer using internet. Okay, so I'll cover that in more details. So whenever I put in a trivial question, there would be something I have not covered in the class. Okay, and then we all know to how to edit this. We have to go into use the vi command and then edit the init tab here. Okay, great. So let's see here. The next command I'm going to show you is pwd.
Was there a quick question on run level? Just quick short question that
Okay.
when we use init initializing command and boot the system in a particular run level, that would not change the run level in the configuration file, right? In tab file.
Yeah, whatever is set in default, it's there. So right now we are in run level. So we are in run level 3, right? If I could type correctly. So we are in run level 3, but that doesn't mean that's a default run level. When the system reboots, the system will read this init tab file. It will read this and then look for the number. Okay, this is the number set to 3, so it's going to boot into run level 3. But remember, when we were interrupting the run level, when we push the space bar or any other key, we are actually interrupting and trying to go into the run level we want. Did you get it? I still have question.
Yeah, no, my question. I still have the question. My question is that we can use the init tab or
yeah, we are not changing the file. The file stays the same.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Okay, it's just a one-off reboot, one-off changing the run level. And most of the time, by default, it would be set to run level 3. I would be surprised it's set to run level any other than 3 in this file here. Okay. So the new command we're going to learn is called pwd. Okay, go ahead and type pwd, and it will give you some information there. So what does pw stands for? The command pwd is present working directory. So by default, every user has a directory created for them. Okay, in Linux system, since we are a all right. Can everybody go on mute? Okay, so in Linux system, everybody gets their own working directory. So this one, for this user, root user, the name of the directory is root. Okay, now we have another thing called root up here. I explained you here, root is the name of the administrator. But also there is something called /root. Okay, what is this /root? This is a default working directory for the administrator. who is the administrator of this system? Root. Okay, don't get confused.
Root.
I'm sorry, you have a question? So root, when you type in root, that's the name of the administrator. That's the name of a person who will be using it. Okay, and slash root is a default working directory for the administrator. Okay, there is one more thing called root. I'll explain you later. Okay, so the command we are using here is one of the very first commands here is you are checking in the command. I'm going to highlight in bold. So these are, you could tell or make a difference that pwd is a command. So everybody type pwd and you all should be in the default working directory for the user root. Okay, let's see here. Default working directory of the administrator root, and this is where you land. This is where you land once you log in. Okay, and also the profile is here. User profile is here, is sitting in this directory. Okay, you could think of this as a Windows system. When you have a Windows system, right? When you have a Windows system here, you go into the C drive, and in the C drive there are users, and there would be one of them is a regular user, and other ones would be there are other users here. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 users in here. So and then when you look in here, for example, this is Zafar. You see how this is coming through. If you make a comparison with Windows, this is sitting in the C drive, and then the folder the user is in users, and then the folder. But for the root, it starts right here. It starts right here. It doesn't have any other folder into it, subfolders. Okay. All right. So today so far we learned pwd. Okay, so give me one moment here. Okay, so the next command I'm going to show you is ls. What ls stands for is list. So you are into the directory here, but you're not seeing anything in there. So how do you want to see the content of the directory? The command is ls. Okay, stands for list. Okay, all right, I'm typing this in a window Word document. It's auto correcting it, but remember, all the commands are in lowercase no matter what. There is no such thing as grammar in here. Okay, this stands for ls stands for list. Okay, what it does, it shows you content of the directory. Okay, so what is directory? Directory is nothing but a folder. Okay, I'll put down here. Okay, this is not a command. So directory is a folder. Okay. So this command, the main command is ls, and there are other commands that you could use with ls. If you do ls space hyphen l, then you have like a listing of same thing here, but hyphen l will give you long list. If you use hyphen l, this will provide you long list. Okay, let's see. I'm going to type another command here. Okay, by the way, there is one more command. You want to clear up the screen, just type clear. When you type clear, what will happen is it will clear the screen. Clear command will clear the screen. Okay, ls gives you the list, and then clear will clear the screen. So normally what you do is you go in here and see what files are in here, and then you type ls-l. What it's giving you is it's giving you long list and provides other attributes. Okay, so there are a lot of information in here, but the only thing I want to explain is when you do ls space hyphen l, it's giving you detailed information about each file and folders in here. The ones which are in blue, you see, are folders. So we have a folder within a folder here. And then the ones which are not in color, those are files, okay? Okay, so let's see here. Okay, and then the clear commands clears the screen. Okay, now the next command is cd. What does cd does? I mean, it's simple. It should you should know this on your own. When you type cd and hit enter, it does nothing. But when you type cd and then type desktop and hit enter, so you change the directory into desktop. So you use the command to change the directory. Excuse me. Let me get some water.
Zafar, when you typed CD desktop, so D is in capital, so it should be like that, or?
Yeah, in this scenario, if it's in capital, you have to use capital.
Okay.
Okay, so now what happened here is we type the letter CD and we change it to desktop, and then you hit enter. It says down over here, it says desktop, DESKTOP. Okay, Now we could go back here and see, use the previous command we just learned, and we type pwd. So pwd is present working directory. So when you type pwd, it's telling us desktop. So that's accurate information it gave out. So we are into a place where it's called root/desktop. This is root is also a folder, and then we are another folder within root is called desktop. Okay. So this is how you change the directory. Okay, and you type cd dot dot. What will happen is when you type cd dot dot, you will go back a directory. Not necessarily you go back the directory where you come from. When you type cd space dot dot, you go back to the a directory level up. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so let me create a folder here called desktop. Root. So we were in the folder name root, right? Then there is another folder in there called desktop. And then we type cd space desktop. See, we clicked in there, and then we went into desktop. Okay. To go back to the directory root, we did something like this. Just click on the root there, right? But what we did here is we type cd space dot dot, then dot is 2 periods here. Okay. So then it brought us back a level up. Okay. Okay, then what you could do is you could type ls again here. And then, for example, if you want to go into the directory cd template, you could do that. Okay, here I want to show you something. When you partially type something and you push the tab key, it auto-fills for you. Okay, what does it mean? Like I type cd and then I just type only t. What it was doing was, and then I push the tab key here, tab key, this one on your keyboard. When you push this key, it auto fills it for you. Okay, so cd, and you know there is a folder that starts with v. There is a video. Then you push the tab key, it auto fills. What if there is another folder that starts with same thing here? Like for example, we have 3 folders here starting with D, right? So what it does is, if you type D and then push the tab key couple times, what will happen here is it will filters out the folder that is starting with D. So it's giving you option here. And then you could type a little bit more. You type O here. I know there are two folders that starting with the DO. So when you type tab again 2 times, now it filters down to 2. It filters down to 2 folders which are starting with DO. Then you type another C in there. Now it's gonna, or when you tap once, it's auto completing it. So when you use the tab key is used for auto completing. Okay. Everybody with me so far? Any questions? Okay, great. No questions. So looks like
But
we have.
Zafar, can we use a qualified directory path with CD and it will work?
Yeah, yeah, we will. I'll show you later on.
Okay.
I could show you later on. You could copy and paste and do all those kind of things. I mean, all those things are being used by the command line. Okay. Okay, great. So clear is a command. CD is a command, and these are you use in combination with them. Combination with the command cd dot dot hyphen l. Okay, and pwd so far is okay. So let me do here. So you don't know what directory you are in, right? So the directory you are in here is slash root slash documents. This is your directory here. So now is the time to learn. Go back into the previous directory. You type cd dot dot and hit enter. Okay, and you type pwd and you back into the directory called root. Okay, this directory is the working directory for the user root. And then what if you type cd space dot dot again? It went back to another directory, which is a slash. Okay, good. This slash is the root of the operating system. This slash is also called root. Okay, what this is now we have three things to remember what root is. There is a root name of the person who is using it. That person is an administrator. Okay, root slash root. Okay, I wasn't using the term root before. Now I'm using root slash root. That means this is a working directory for the username root, and slash forward slash is called simply a root. What is this? This is a root directory, also known as root, and this is a root directory. And what is root directory? Root directory is the root of the operating system. Okay, I have a picture here. I got it from internet, so let me show one of the to you. Okay. Okay. Are you ready for this? Okay. All right. This is what this is. Okay. This directory that I'm showing here, this think of this as an upside down tree. This is nothing but a tree. This is where the operating system is. Everything is there. But right now, when you do pwd, this is where you are. Slash. Nothing but root. This is the root of the operating system. And in there, when you do ls, there are a bunch of other folders in here. Okay. If you delete any of this, then you're corrupting the operating system. Okay. So you get the idea that slash root is a root directory. It's a root of the operating system. Okay. Slash root, slash root, root, root is nothing but a working directory for the user root. Okay. All right. This should confuse you enough here, but you will get it. You get the idea. Here within that, and then they are like a directory, subdirectories, and all this here. We will go through each and every of these major directories here. But right now, since this came up, I have to explain it to you all at this moment. Okay, it's enough of that. Yeah, let me lower this. It looks ugly. Okay, so now you could see where so far we are just moving around and clicking around. When you're doing all this here, what you're doing is normally you use this task to like click around inside the Windows environment, but we are not in Windows environment, so we're using the command lines. So then what you type here is you type cd enter. So what cd command does is when you just type cd and hit enter, this command will throw you back into your working directory. If you only type cd and you don't type anything else, this will throw you back into your home directory. Okay, I should have mentioned home directory here. The correct term is home directory. Default working directory, and also known as home directory. Okay, all right. So at this moment, I'm going to pause for a minute here, and I'll take any questions. Anybody have any questions? Please speak up, because to me it seems easy, but I need to know everybody is getting this.
Zafar, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So from your this notepad, if we want to copy some command and paste into terminal, is there a way to do that?
Right now, we're going to use putty. I'm not there yet. We downloaded one application in one of the bunch of downloads I had. We had something called this here putty, but we're not making that connection yet. So we will work on that, and then once we have a connection made, we will never come back in here. We'll be using putty.
Sure.
Okay. Any questions about root? Okay.
So the original root directory before the root, just the slash root, that means you're in the whole drive, right? Is there a way to change the drive, like C to D
No.
or something like that?
No, not here. Not here. In Windows DOS operating system, the default directory it picks up is C, because A and B used to be the floppy drive, and I know A used to be floppy drive, then later on D drive and all that, and B used to be a secondary floppy drive, and C became, that's where the operating system used to sit on it. That's where the operating system, and then you need, back in the days, you have to have like a floppy drive. A drive used to boot the system, B drive will configure the system, and C drive, that's where all the files is, and that's how the operating system was working back then, but it's not there anymore. A and B is gone, all you're using is C. But since the dawn of Unix, this is coming from Unix. We'll go into a little bit of history of the Unix later on. This is coming from Unix, year 1969. Somebody said, let's start something with the / as root, and the world has never moved away from that /root. That's where everything is working off of now. So if you type like cd dot dot, so you're in root now, and then you type cd dot dot. Let's see what happens. No, you're not going to go anything back right here. This is the root here. You see, this is where the root is. There is nothing above it. Actually, this is supposed to be upside down. If I could do this. This is how it is. Root, and then these are all the branches and other small branches. These are leaves. So look at this operating system as a tree, starting from the root. If the root is gone, everything else is gone. And then these are the main branches. If all these branches are gone, you will have serious problem with the operating system. There is a lot of problems here. So look at this as upside down here. Maybe I'll have time. I'll just try to fix this. But I'll just leave this like this, okay? Because it's better to visualize it. Okay, so what we learned so far? PWD present clears the screen. You'll be using clear a lot. You won't even know how many times you'll be using clear. And I sometimes even forget that there is a clear command, but I'm using it all the time. So one other little technique I'll show you is on the keyboard. If you go up and down arrow keys here, these arrow keys, the system is actually remembering your commands you've been typing in. So if you have typed a little complicated command, you could go up and down like this. Do you see the history? Let me just, okay, see, you see I'm using an up arrow key here on the keyboard, and it's taking me back all the commands I've been typing in. So it kind of remembers it. It may or may not remember these commands the next time the system boots up, but more than likely it will remember that.
It does, brother Zafar. I typed history, and I was surprised I had all those commands which we entered in the last class, previous 2 days.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to show this command yet, but there is a command called history. Now, if it came up here, let me just type it in here. A command called history. Okay, so this will show your history of your commands. This is a very good command to see, especially when you are typing in like a longer command that we will learn later on. So this is a command you would use to bring up what you have typed here. Once we are using putty, you could like also copy and paste.
But Zafar, if any command give output more than a page, how do we get to see the previous page. That's the issue I was facing earlier.
Exactly. That is why we have putty here.
Okay.
We have putty. We'll be using this maybe 2-3 weeks from now.
Okay.
But we have to configure the network adapter for that to be able to do it. Okay, so let's talk about the cd command here. When you only type cd, it just throws you back into your home directory. This will throw you back into your home directory. Okay, and then when you type cd space hyphen, what it does is it will bring you back into the previously working directory here. I'll show you how. Let's see, I do ls and I do cd download. I go in that cd and I hit enter, and I'm there in pwd, right? So let me go back to the directory called cd/root. Okay, I'm all the way to the root of the operating system. But I don't want to go into I don't want to type this and this. I remembered, I need to go back into that folder again. So you type cd space hyphen and hit enter. What it does is it will throw you back into the previous working directory. This will bring you back into okay. All right, you got it right. So I'm going to highlight this cd. You'll be using it a lot. Cd, all these commands. I mean, it will be a second nature for you, and you don't even know you're using it so much. Okay, okay, all right. Let's see cd. So what are these here? I mean, the main command is cd, and I'm typing this, or I'm typing 2 dots, and then I'm just typing cd, and then I'm typing all these are called the extra ones which are using are called switches. These are command switch. That's what is called extensions of the commands. There are a lot of other things here, especially you will find, we'll go through a lot of other switches for this ls command here. Right now, I'm just only concentrating on ls-l. There are other things we'll learn throughout the course, okay? All right, so let's see here. So I just typed cd. I'm back to my home directory. When you type pwd, you are into the home directory. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to learn the new command, how we're going to make a directory. So we're going to create a brand new directory. So the command for creating a directory is called mkdir. I mean, you could just make out, this is a short, you could just make out here what is mkdir. You could just, looking at this thing, it's telling you are making a directory. mkdir. What is this? This will create a directory. What is directory? Here is nothing but a folder. Okay. This is nothing but a folder. How are we going to use the command? So I'm creating a new directory in there using the command mkdir, and then I'm going to create a directory called Red Hat. So it's a good practice to always use the lower cases. Okay, it's a very, very good practice to use lower cases, because you could get hung up on later on that if you're typing some kind of code, and this would end up creating some problems, because if you know everything is in lowercase, then you know have to worry about too much. Okay, I hit enter, and then I didn't get an error. If you didn't get an error message, that means the directory is created. So how do you know if the directory is created? If you type the command ls. The command ls is there, and then you could search in here, look through in here, and see if the folder is created right here, Red Hat. You just created a folder called Red Hat in there. Okay, and then how do you go into that folder? Can somebody tell me how do you go in that folder? CD
in the folder name.
Yeah, folder name, and you hit enter, and you type pwd. So what just happened here? We created the folder using mkdir command, and it creates the directory in that folder here, because you didn't give any other information. You're telling here, make a directory in this folder here. So what it did was it made a directory in that folder, and then when you type cd in there, you went in that folder. Okay, example. Okay. Okay, let's see here.
Well, Zafar, is there any best practice to create user directories in any core folders, or any best practice for that?
For the users?
For you creating user directories, or when we install the system has its own directory, which you showed us in the tree earlier. So the system administrator would be creating the user defined directories as well. So is there any best practice out there that those should be created in the root, or created in any of the system provider folders, etc.?
Yeah, we'll learn about that in about 3 months.
Okay.
So I mean, right now, these are still the basic things here. There is a big module called user administration. We'll learn about this, and then you could manipulate how things are there. The system creates for you, but you could change things around too. Okay. Okay. Actually, I like this better this way here. All these are commands here, so I'm taking so I'm going to note this here. What is directory? Directory is nothing but a folder. So what we did so far is we created a folder. So if you type ls command here, there is nothing in there. The folder is blank. So let's use mkdir, and then I'm going to create another folder called Blue Hat. Okay, and then I do ls. So in there is another folder called Blue Hat, or directory. What I could do is I just could go in there and then type blue hat to go in there. And then if I type pwd, when I type pwd, you could imagine we were in root directory. In there, we created a folder called Red Hat, and then we changed into that Red Hat folder. Then we went into the folder created a folder called Blue Hat. Okay, in that Blue Hat, we use the command cd to go in there. Okay. All right. So now I need to make multiple folders within the folder. Okay. So let's see here. When I type cd, I went up the directory. Now I'm into a folder called Red Hat. It is actually telling you what folder you are in, but you could also type pwd. Okay, now I want to create multiple. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, if I want to create a multiple folders in the same place, I could type mkdir. Okay, and white hat, black hat. So what I've done so far is I typed mkdir space white hat space black hat. So what it's going to do is it's going to create two directories, two individual directories in the present working directory. So if you type ls, you see there blue hat was already there. Now it created black hat and white hat. Okay, so multiple folders in same directory. Okay, that's the command how you would use here. So what if you already have the directory in here and then you type this here again? What will happen is it will give you the error message. It says like, okay, the directory is already there. Okay, but this is what I want to do. I want to create multiple directories within the I want to create a directory inside a directory 2 or 3 times deeper. So how would I do that? Okay, so let's do it here. I type clear so that you could see better here. So I type ls-l. I know there are 3 directories in here. Each of them I have created individually. So there is another command switch you could use, mkdir -p, p as in Papa. So what will happen here is so you're creating a parent directory. Okay, so let's type I want to create multiple directories within directories in the folder name black hat. Okay, so let me type black, and then here I know there is no other folder within that folder black hat, right? But now I'm telling the system to go in that folder and then create another folder called okay, let's use the team's name here, White Sox. And within the folder name White Sox, we're going to create a folder, another folder named Red Sox, and then hit enter. And then I do ls-l. So these two, the newly created folders, they are in the folder black hat, and then another folder in there White Sox and Red Sox. So even though we gave a command black hat, the -p, what it does, it ignores it. If it's already created, it's not going to create it again. Then it will look for the command. It's command, and you're telling the command to create folder within a folder here. Okay. Okay. For some people here, it may sound ridiculous here. I mean, we're just making a directory within a directory, but you will see how this thing will build up, and you'll be using this as a command line, and it gets really, really complicated, but very fun to use. So,
There's a quick question here on the switch P. Had we not used this, then we would have received an error because black hat is already there.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And if black hat were not there, then using this switch P or not using would be same, right? We would have got the same result.
No, you still, if you do use it without P here. Let's see here if we know blue hat is nothing there, right? Okay, let's see if we go. I don't even know this. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Without P here. So it says if you're not using P, it's not going to do it. So you have to use -p because it doesn't know what you're asking it to do.
Okay, so P switch is basically to create multiple directories, right?
No, the correct term is to create multiple directories within a directory.
Within directory, okay. To create a complete path, basically.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
So when we were creating multiple directories, mkdir, blue hat, space, white hat, does that mean that a directory name cannot have space in it or two words? It has to be one word?
When it has two words here, right here, then it will create two different directories. You cannot do
so we cannot have
-p
one
here.
directory, two names.
Yeah, if you can give the name and then give a space, then give another name, then it creates two different directories. Say, okay, all right, I have this command here. What do you want to do? This command, right? What do you want to do here?
So, what I want to do is create two directories. One directory that has two word name, like red space hat, like one directory with that name. That's not possible, right?
It's possible here. What it does is it will create two directories in that folder, red. It will create a directory red, and it will create a directory socks there. And it just did it. Very, very good question. Very good question. This is nothing but a same command here. Red hat we did at the start of the line, right? But we are telling the system to do it in a particular directory at the moment. So let's go into that folder, cd black hat white socks. Okay, and if I hit enter, what should we expect here? How many directories we should have here? Because we already created a directory in there once, and then we created two more times. So we should have 3 directories in here. It didn't create 3 directories. Red. Okay, let's see if it created a... So to answer your question, it didn't create the directory with this command here, but it didn't give us a this command. What we did here, it didn't work. It partially worked. It created this here and it ignored this part. Okay, So when we type this command, hit enter, it created the directory red. But I was thinking it would have created another directory called red and also another directory called socks. But it didn't create that. Let me go into which Red Hat, right? Okay. Okay, so let's move on. So let's see here. To create a directory within a directory, this is what you type. So you use -p switch, and then you type which directory did we type this in? Okay.
So I tested this buzzer. It will create a socks directory in the same root where black hat is, and it will create the white red in the with the complete path.
Okay. So what it tells me is it's doing this here. This part, it's taking this information here, and then it's creating another directory in the directory you just created here. This one will go into the directory here. Let's see here. Yeah, there it is. The missing directory, we were looking into the folder white socks. It created in the directory a present working directory, because it makes sense here. It's doing this here. When we are using mkdir, okay, this part is this command, and then this part is this command. I mean this folder. Did you get it?
Yeah, I get it.
So we were thinking it's going to create into this folder here, but it didn't. It created into present working directory, this one. So you could see, but simply using the commands here, you could start to create a complex directory in here. Okay. So now we created directory, but how are we going to delete the directory? Okay, so let's see here. Okay, before that, let me clear this. We're gonna learn the delete command. How are we gonna delete the directory? So let's see, ls-l, and I want to delete the directory socks, right? Can you still hear me? Hello?
Yes, buzzer, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So the command we would use is remove. RM stands for remove hyphen. Okay, we'll just use remove, and then we'll type socks. Okay, so for directory, if you type remove, the command will not work. Okay, remove. The new command is remove. but for deleting a directory, what you have to do is you have to type rm hyphen r hyphen r. Okay, rm hyphen r, and then name of a directory, and it will give you a warning. Do you want to remove the directory? Yes. So why is the reason it's telling you that it want to remove? You have to use hyphen r. Hyphen r stands for recursive. So recursive means anything inside a directory will be deleted. So you could use the rm command to delete the directory, and you have to use the switch hyphen r. I hear some background noise here. Can you go on mute? Okay, so once you type this, everything from this directory is gone. Everything from the directory is gone. So you gotta be very careful. Most of the time, I barely remember any time I remove any directory. So you won't be using this as much, but there's a command there. But you'll be deleting some files from time to time. Okay, so let's see here. Let me do ls here, and so what I'm going to show you next is I'm going to show you the move command. Move command. There are multiple uses of move command here. Okay, so of course you want to move the files and directory, right? So the command to use move command is simply mv. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the directory blue hat into white hat. So how are we going to do that? So what we do is we just simply type mv and then name of the directory blue hat, and then we're going to move it to white hat. So what we did here, the first command is the directory which you are moving, and the second command is which directory you are moving that directory into. Okay, so to confirm that, you go into cd white hat and you do ls. That's where the directory is. Where is the directory is? Directory is into white hat now. So what we did is we moved it. Okay. Now this sounds ridiculous here, but move command is used in Linux. Move command is used to rename the directory. Okay, so I'll show you how. So we have this folder named white hat, right? But I want to rename the directory white hat to something else. So how am I going to do that? So I type mv white hat, and then I'm going to type green hat. Okay, and then hit enter. Okay, so the directory we named white hat is gone. Now we use the mv command, which is normally used to move the files around. We use that command to rename the directory. When I was learning Linux for the first time, I was dumbfounded that you really use mv command to rename the directory, but that is how you do it, okay? Uh, you you use this not very often. That's what I'm trying to say. You use this if you're moving the directory, or if you're renaming the directory. Normally, what you is there is a process you have to follow. You have to get approvals for renaming it, because most of the time renaming the directory name comes from the application team, which is a different team. You're not responsible for applications. Those are the teams they would ask you to rename the directory. They'll put in a ticket. So, but
There's a quick question here. What's the difference between the first move command, blue hat to white hat, and white hat to green hat? The syntax is the same.
yeah, but you notice in the when I did ls-l, there is no other directory name green hat at that moment.
Okay.
So, if there would have been there would have been already a directory name green hat, then what it does, it just moves it there. If
Okay.
there is no such existing directory in there, it just renames it.
Okay. So then rule is that if both directories exist, the contents will be copied, and if the target directory doesn't exist, then the source directory will be renamed to the target directory.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Should I continue on, or is it too much for you? Can I get any opinion?
I think we should continue, and this is my opinion, and finish all these small tips, and playing around the directory. If there's anything more, copying the content, files, renaming,
Okay.
etc. That
Tomorrow I will leave a half hour before we close out for open discussion. That way I clear up, and then you have a whole week to practice. Okay. So it moves the folder, and then see, I'm taking notes in here, but it's not possible for me to put in the explanation here. So it would be really beneficial for you to watch the videos simultaneously. First couple times you may have to watch it, then once you get it, you get the idea. Let me make sure I'm recording this. Yeah, recording is in progress, so good.
But this move command, the example which we used, that was for directories. If if blue hat and white hat both were files in the same directory, the same rule will apply, that if the target file doesn't exist, then it will be renamed, and if the target exists, only content of the file will be copied, the data will be copied.
No, I mean this move command is only good for the directories here. There is the move command. If we need to change the files here, we will use that again. But I will show you when we are working with the files.
Okay.
Okay, because right now we need to move. We are just learning in how to move around in the Linux. Then we will create files, and then we'll do a lot of other stuff here. But that's a very good question. We'll work on that, but we'll see how it goes here. But right now, so there is one other concept here. Let me tell you. So we are here. We typed in here. There is one concept called the absolute path. Okay, what is the absolute path here? So the absolute path means that the location of this folder, we are looking at this path here, right? The path, when we say the absolute path, we are starting from the root. So root slash red hat is absolute in the sense so we are in here root, the root directory root, and then there's a folder name root, and then within that root we have the another folder name red hat. So this path is called, if it's starting from the directory root, that means it's a absolute path. Here's the example of absolute path. Okay, I could only give you examples. Slash root slash red hat. Okay, let's see here. So in this example, the absolute path is this. It's starting from here, root red hat and then green hat. Oh man, I'm used to like auto filling it. That's why I'm pushing tab. And then blue hat. So in this example, this is the absolute path because everything is starting from root. And in this example, for the absolute path, this is starting from here, root. So anytime when you mention you need an absolute path for that, you're going all the way from root and then coming up to the path. So the present working directory absolute path is here. Okay. Any questions about that?
So I have a question about move. Now, when we move the folder, it was cut paste. Is there something different for copy paste?
No. Oh, I'm sorry. You're moving within the moving folder one for folder to another folder. Yes, it's a cut paste, not copy paste. I thought you were asking about rename. Rename is you just renaming it and then leaving it in the same place.
Then is there a separate command for copy paste, or do we not have copy paste in this?
Yeah, there is a copy command there too. Yeah, we'll work on copy command. Okay, so this is an absolute path, right? And there is something called relative path. What is relative path? Okay, so the relative path is the path of this directory. So we want to know where is this blue hat sitting into. So the blue hat is sitting into the directory green hat. So example for a relative path is, for blue hat, we want to know the relative path for blue hat is green hat. Okay, remember the moment you type slash, it's going to change everything. So I'm typing only green hat. I'm not typing slash. So I'm giving you from the present working directory. The example is okay. So let me go back here. So I typed ls-l, and then I want to know what is the path of the directory blue hat. So in this example here, I determined the path for this directory is blue for blue hat is this, within a green hat from the present working directory green hat / blue hat. That's the relative path here. So it's going to be a little confusing here. So I should expect some questions. You have any questions?
I think it's fairly simple. If it starts with slash, then it will be absolute, and if it is not starting with slash, then it will be relative to the current directory where we are, or present working directory. Is that true, Joseph?
Can you tell me one more time, please? Sorry.
I'm saying if it starts with the slash, that will be absolute path, and if it is not starting with the slash, then it will be relative to present working directory.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. You use the word relative. That means it's a relative path. Exactly. You're good. So beginning of the root. This is a absolute path and a relative path. So we want to see why is it so important here. So if you're changing around the directory here, okay, so this is going to get complicated here. So let's see here. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm going to go into blue hat, and there is nothing else in here. There is nothing beyond this, and I'm into the folder pwd. Okay. So what I want to do now is, from here, I want to go back to the directory Red Hat. Okay. So I'm going to use the command cd and then use root and use Red Hat. Okay. So you could see here that from that directory you're going into the directory called Red Hat. When you hit enter, it throws you back into the directory Red Hat. Okay, so you went back up 2 directories, and you went back to the one of the parent directory, which is a Red Hat. Okay. Similarly, what directory path I used here in this scenario? I used cd/root/Red Hat. So what path is this? This is absolute path. Okay. Let me give you another example for absolute path. I want to go back to the same directory using absolute path. So what I do is I type cd/root/ Red Hat. I double tab in there. Then I want to go into the directory Green Hat. Then I want to go into Blue Hat. And then there is no more directory in there because I'm pushing the tab key. When you push tab key, it will sometimes give you the content of what directory you could browse into. Okay, so notice carefully here. I used this absolute path to jump back to the Red Hat. Now I'm using the absolute path again to go into the directory Blue Hat. Okay, there you go. Let's do pwd. What I used the absolute path. Absolute path. And then let's go back in here. Let's go back to the previous directory. How would you, I showed you a command, a cd space hyphen right here. Cd space hyphen, this will bring you back into the previous working directory, okay? So can somebody tell me when I type cd space hyphen, where is this going to put me into? You can use it here.
It will take you to the root /root/Red Hat.
Exactly. Great. Great answer. Okay. Great. So now I want to go into the directory that I was in, Blue Hat again. So this time I'm going to use a relative path. So what you could do is you could do ls, you could do type, then Green Hat, then Blue Hat in there. Okay, see, we are not starting from the /root. We could have previously over here we used /root/Red Hat /Green Hat. We could use that here too. Using that will make us use absolute path. But using this here, it is making us use the relative path. Relative path is usually used once you're already into the one of the directory within that directory. When you hit enter, there you go. You are into the folder name Blue Hat using a relative path. I'm gonna give about 2-minute pause here, and anybody could think of anything, let me know.
So yeah, Zafar, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I'm standing in my home folder, which is /root, and then over there I typed the move command, which is mv space. Then I'm trying to create a directory, but I don't have the directory in my home folder. So let's say I want to create a directory 1, and I want to create another directory in another one. So when I try to type that command, so it went through, but I don't see anything in the listing. When I did the ls, I don't see anything in the list that the directory has created.
Okay. Okay. Take a picture and then put it in a WhatsApp group. I want to take a look.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I cleared the screen. 1 second.
Okay. So the previous command you typed in there is mkdir. Yeah. Okay. Mkdir slash a slash b slash c. Okay. What you did is you created using the absolute path. So you have to go to the root folder. Go to cd space just a forward slash and hit enter, and then do ls there. You would see the folder A in there.
Oh yeah, it's right there. I see it.
Okay, because I was just explaining, you used a absolute path.
Oh, okay.
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 You gotta be careful what you're doing here, because one you'll be working mostly as a root user, and it's not sometimes not going to answer for any confirmation that you really want to do it, and you do it. So you have to be using your root user command responsibly. So
All right, thank you. I got it.
okay, all right. Let's see here. So this is all you're going to move around uh, in the in this absolute path and relative path here. Okay, so let me cover one more. Tomorrow, actually, we'll work in putty tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will configure putty in here, and then we'll start working out of putty. Okay. Let me see. We covered the directory. We did pwd. We did the cd command. We did move list. Okay, with the list command, I should have shown you this early on. Okay, when you do ls-a, what this will do is this will show you hidden directories, hidden files and folders. Okay, let's type ls-a. In here, there is nothing. There are like two directories. Those are system directories here. But let me go back to my original root folder. There are some files in there, right? Okay, these are so many files it's showing here, but I want to see hidden directories. So what you type is ls-a. Okay, so you see in here the directories which are starting with a period. Those are all hidden. These are all hidden. So to get a better visual, we do ls-l. Then I'm going to add letter A to it. So okay. So previously we just type ls. It gave us like only handful of result, right? But I'm typing ls-l, and then A. A is for all. That means it's going to bring up everything, even a hidden ones. Okay, how would you know these are hidden files or folders? It starts with a little period. This one, period tch, hrc, dot ssh, dot pulse, all these are hidden files. Okay, so hyphen A gives you hidden files and hyphen L gives you long list. So now you could use the combination ls hyphen L and A. It's gonna give you combine. Can you go on mute? Okay, so this command will give you show you long list and hidden files. Okay. Okay, so we are out of time here. Tomorrow, we're gonna make a putty connection, and we'll probably end up spending half hour on it. Make sure you have something called putty uh, installed. If you have downloaded those items when what I asked you to do it, then you shouldn't have any problem having putty already installed on your computer. Okay. So we have 2 minutes here. Any questions?
So did you type -L -A or did you type -LA?
LA. LA. Right here. I'll make this public soon. ls-LA. It will show you the long list and the hidden files. You could type ls-A space A-A. It's giving you same information, but it's hard to read, right? But long list, it will give you more information, in-depth information.
So this question might not be related, but to create a hidden directory, you just started with the period. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Yeah. When we'll be creating the directory, you might as well do it now. We got 2 minutes here, right? Yeah. You type. Let me go back into my favorite directory, Red Hat. mkdir. Then I'm gonna type. So okay. So when you type ls, it's not showing there. When you type ls-A, it's showing there as a gray hat. And then it does has a period in front of it. And then you could type ls-al2. And then you see more information. Okay, we're gonna stop right now, and then we'll pick up tomorrow. And then if everybody like today, be on time, be grateful, and then we'll go from there. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Thank you, Zafar.
Okay.
Thank you.